Walmart started selling these Ozark Trail stoves. They're small, they'd be good for backpacking. I'm wanting to try to make a little bit of this Bear Creek vegetable soup on it. Right there is just a small pot, very small, it'd be good for backpacking as well. This soup right here I think would be a good alternative to the mountain houses. It makes 8 servings, and these things cost about $4 at Walmart. What I'm wanting to do is kind of cut down the recipe. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour that soup into my measuring cup, see what my total volume is. I'm gonna round that down to 12 ounces of total volume. The recipe calls for 8 cups of water, and then you're gonna cook it for 15 minutes. And that makes, I cut it off, but that makes 8 servings. This little blue cup is one that I have in my mess kit that I took backpacking. It has little lines that you can use to measure. I've got almost 3 ounces of the soup mix. And I'm gonna mix that with 12 ounces of water. You could also use, if you had a cup measure, you could probably do around a 1/3 of a cup for 12 ounces of water. But this is the ratio that I'm gonna try right here. So my water is coming up to a boil. I'm gonna go ahead and pour this soup mix in. Dump that in there and stir it up. Put the lid on and get it boiling good. Then I'm gonna reduce that heat and just let it simmer. A good boil going there. It says to cook it uncovered, but I'm going to put this lid on. That way I don't have to use as much fuel. One disadvantage that I would think to cooking the soup like this is having to run that stove for 15 minutes. I guess I ought to do a test to see how long the stove will run on one of those tanks. I did want to see how many ounces of water I could boil, but it might be nice to know how long you can run a stove on those. I'm gonna call that done. I tasted it earlier and it is good. Now something else that you could do to this is add just a little bit of rice. The flavoring is really good, but if you want it to be a little bit thicker, a little bit more nourishing, add a little bit of rice or noodles or something like that to it. I would say make it more concentrated with the soup mix, but I wouldn't want it to be too salty and too strong. So I think just a little bit of rice would be about right on that. But the flavor, it's very good.